the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single.
For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do.
It's a brand new week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
an incompetent means an incompetent person.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
So, sir, how can you describe today's election, sir?
Oh, I tell you, I'm happy for the turnout. You know, it's wonderful. Everybody is happy with the process. Very peaceful. You know, the whole process is well coordinated. I want to thank the SEC for their good work. Materials arrived in time, and voting commenced as at when due.
So, sir, from your expectation today, are you sure of victory?
Well, in every contest, you must look for victory. You must hope for victory. You know, so I hope that I'm going to win at the end of the day.
Sir, one thing that happened in this state yesterday was the police refused to participate in the election. Sir, is the election peaceful without the police?
I can assure you that Rivers State election is going to be more peaceful than it has ever been. Because I can tell you that probably they were the ones causing most of the confusion. That from now on, you see happy, you will never hear any crisis anywhere, both in Ghana and in all parts of Rivers State. Very peaceful.
Sir, what are the factors that motivated this peaceful atmosphere we are seeing in this community? Because unlike usual election, we have people complain of rigging, like everybody today, both the APC, the APP, other political parties are all hanging around joyfully.
Well, the point is that I shouldn't be singing my own trumpet. I shouldn't be blowing my own trumpet. If not, I will say that because of the choice of candidates, you know, people are happy with it. And that's why there is this mass turnout and there is this level of peace.
Sir, what word of advice do you have for your supporters?
I think in the whole world, I think everybody should go home and rest. That the dividend of democracy is coming to you. Ghana people are going to be happy for once.
Martin Sumwibo, the APP chairmanship candidate in the Kana local government. He was speaking to the press after casting his vote at the Unit 1 Bunubanga Ward 7. And you can hear him, he said something very interesting, that the election seemed to be very, very peaceful without the police getting involved. He suggested that it may well be that the police are the people who cause trouble. Those are his words. I'm sure you heard him. And I'm joined on the program now from Port Harcourt by Mr. Ekine. Mr. Ekine is a legal practitioner. He joins me now from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Henry Ekine. Very, very thoughtful of you to join us. I don't know whether you were able to hear what Mr. Honorable Martins Mwibo just said regarding what's happening in Port Harcourt. And do you share the same sentiment that maybe the police are part of the problem when they are around for the elections? Is that true?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon for having me. There's a possibility, but I can't say for certain, except we'll have to draw from the reality of the reports from the respective polling units. We are all aware that the Nigerian police in Rivers State had actually announced a withdrawal of protection for this election. And so it left Rivers indigents and residents here and the commission to conduct the affairs of the election. And since it's been reported largely, and then even with the areas I have personally witnessed, that it's been peaceful, it's been calm, it's been seamless, it's been what one would have expected for elections in Nigeria to be. And then now that we do not have the police, where we had the fear originally that if the police were not there to provide security, that there might be crisis. But without the police, and then the election is conducted this peacefully, it just may justify that kind of assertion that perhaps sometimes the presence of the police may compromise peaceful conduct of elections. But that's not conclusive, like I would say. I think I would rather deal with facts, whether there is anything to factually establish that assertion. But it does appear that that's a possibility.
I mean, from what you have seen in your area of Port Harcourt, I don't know the area of Port Harcourt where you are, because Port Harcourt is quite a large city. What was the process like? Did people come out to vote? From the things you saw?
Yes, around the Port Harcourt Township area, that is the old Port Harcourt Township, somewhere around the Port Harcourt Township School, and then again around the UP, popularly called the UP Junction, that's the Universal Primary Education, the UP Junction. These are areas in Port Harcourt, because I belong to the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, and then there have been some observers on that platform in different places of election. And then also my affiliation with the political party, because the election now, I wouldn't want to mention the political party. And then I also have got reports from different areas and different local government areas where elections are going on. I'm aware that in Akinima, that is the Ahoda West local government area, particularly Ward 4, where the Ward area headquarters located, that's incidentally where my unit falls. I'm Unit 17 of Ward 4 in Ahoda West local government. The materials have gone there, and then the election going on peacefully. And again, I think the reports about peaceful elections across the local governments. I followed on some journalists, some friends who are journalists, reporting from Akokotoro and Asaritori. Those are the riverine local government areas in the rivers. And again, I've also seen the video of somewhere in Onelga where votes are already being counted. That's over an hour ago that votes were already being counted. And then so this has been the general report across the local government areas. There are pictures and videos and reports of voters turnout being impressive, and then voters exercising their right to choose who will lead them by way of casting their votes, and then of course being generally peaceful. The people providing, or if you like, conducting themselves in that orderly manner that's almost made unnecessary. That's very heavy security presence usually during our elections. I think there's a lesson to be learned from the conduct of local government elections in Rivers State. Up to this time, this is already 4 p.m. And then, again, one thing that I think I observed is that materials arrived most of the polling areas early, and then voting started, accreditation and voting simultaneous started. And that was why about mid-afternoon, some units were beginning to count the votes. And this is 4 p.m. We haven't had serious reports of crisis or thuggery or infiltration as such, except maybe 1 or 2 places that I've seen some videos that have come in that regard.
I mean, thank you so much for giving us a recap of what has transpired in a lot of the places, especially within other local governments in Rivers State. And staying with the police issue, do you think it was a mistake that the police decided to stay away, to excuse themselves from this election? Is it going to maybe now give some states who may be having similar issues to really find a way of provoking the police to also opt out of that election?
Thank you. Anyway, in the case of Rivers State, it wasn't like the indigents and residents of Rivers State provoked the police to take that rather unimaginable decision. But let me say what I was. It's clear that the Nigerian police, in my view, didn't really make the right decision. I wouldn't think it's a mistake, but it was deliberate. There's no mistake in that decision of the police to withdraw from their statutory and constitutional function to provide and ensure security of life and property at all times and everywhere in this country. The Nigeria Police established under Section 214 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and further established in the Police Act 2020. It's primarily vested with the power and responsibility and function to provide security. And then electoral laws, the Electoral Act, and then together with the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission law, would expect that the Nigeria Police and other security agencies, particularly the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, to provide security where it's needed during elections. So I consider it rather irresponsible and reckless for the Nigeria Police to withdraw their services or the protection of life and property, the constitutional and statutory responsibility in that regard. Even if they propose to say that they were doing that in compliance with the decision of a court, I wouldn't want to go deep in analyzing how the judge arrived at that decision. But that's most unfortunate because we have had decisions of courts, several decisions of court, up to the apex court in this country, to the effect that security agencies established by law, both by the Constitution and then the laws that establish those agencies further, not to be restrained from performing their constitutional and statutory duties. And that I mean in simple terms that it's strike law that no court should restrain the Nigeria Police from performing its constitutional and statutory duty and any other agency that's established by law. But so for the police to very readily choose and rather elect to comply with a decision that was rather negative, rather restraining them from performing their function, and disregarding another decision of a court or coordinate jurisdiction that enjoined them to perform their constitutional and statutory duty. That's worrisome for me. And clearly what I mean is the High Court of Rivers State, presided over by Honorable Justice IPC Igwe, had earlier, since about the 4th of September, compounded, that is, or rather consolidated the provision of the Constitution and of the Police Act, ensuring that the police should continue to perform their statutory and constitutional duty, mandating the police to provide security for the election in Rivers State on the 5th of October, that's today. And you had that judgment. The police, rather than what one would expect reasonably, to choose to comply with that decision that even aligned with their primary function and duty, also contained and provided expressly in their own legislation that established them, together with the primary function of the police as established in the Constitution, but rather chose the other way. But it's their decision. But that's why we're here to analyze and express our own view. That's most unfortunate, and I consider that reckless and irresponsible. and then they're probably deliberate, and then for whatever purpose that is to serve, I wouldn't know. It's just imagining. But a good thing, I think what that has exposed really here is that elections can actually be conducted in Nigeria peacefully and freely without even the Nigeria police being present. I think there is rather a negative report that has come in connection to the police, except until the police denies that. There are videos now that are showing up, showing individuals in police uniform, presumably policemen, somewhere around Rumibo in Port Harcourt, that's Obiako local government area. And I identified that place to have the resemblance of the civic center, that is the town hall in Rumibo community along the Quere Road. I think that's exactly where that should be, where you would see a policeman handling and having the ballot box and moving away from that vicinity, that premises. And then the reporter on social media was like, policemen came to that place and then they're cutting away the ballot box. That's a negative one. So you can imagine that since morning, that I think appears to be the video that I'm referring to. For whatever reason, for whatever purpose, policemen will be seen to have that ballot box in their hands, not justifiable. Even in a situation where the police would have accepted to participate in the election, that is not their responsibility. They have no business whatsoever to have any of the electoral material to move from one point to another. The electoral officials that are there are the ones to carry the ballot boxes, not even electorates, not even the legitimate voters. So there is no justification whatsoever for policemen to be seen to bear in their hands and then to be carrying ballot boxes. So whatever allegation, therefore, is leveled against them appears to be true. And then there's a presumption that that's exactly what it is. But that's the only report that I've got. And I wonder, the police that said they are not going to participate, no wonder the police said directly. I wonder what they meant by directly, and perhaps this is the indirect way they are participating. Because the direct participation of the police in election or election activity would have been to provide security and ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order. And then just around the flanks of the polling area. They are not to participate in the actual conduct of elections. These are the things that we need to emphasize in this country. But look at what is showing now in videos. Tomorrow the police will come up to say it's not their men, they are not their men, and then probably presence in police uniform. But there's a presumption in the first instance that those are policemen. And then that's the negative activity that is shown to have been carried out by policemen, meaning that since morning and all the other units that will never have the police present at all, will never have this negative report. So it's worrisome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that analysis. So let me ask you, with this process almost coming to an end, that is the Rivers local government elections, do you think that this will be another vista, if you like? Is this going to be a new horizon for Rivers politics if this election ends without much incident and then new local government chairmen emerge? Will it mark a new day in Rivers politics?
Yes, absolutely. Deepening democracy and strengthening democracy in this country is been the concern of every responsible citizen that desires enduring democracy in this country, that will have democratically elected local government councils. That has been outcry. That's been the desire of every Nigerian. But the mischief has been that governors had always hijacked the local government administration by appointing caretaker committees and other sorts of nomenclature they could give to those kind of unelected administrators of local government. So that again is in violation of Section 7 of the Constitution, the provision, Section 7 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that guaranteed democratically elected local government. And again, the Supreme Court just in July gave effect to the provision of Section 7 of the Constitution. So for Rivers State to have willingly complied with the decision of the Supreme Court, and then again the provision of Section 7 of the Constitution, as well as the provision of the Rivers State local government law, which is to the effect that local government council should be democratically elected. And then, so this, for me, we will strengthen democracy at that level of government in Rivers State. and then we'll also consolidate the aspirations of the people in terms of bringing government closer to the grassroots. But I think I'll be more satisfied if moving forward we never will have in history any form of conjecture or any form of local government administration that's not elected. So this should be a vista. This should be the takeoff point, if you like, forgetting whatever has happened before now, where we have had a mix of elected council members and at some point caretaker committees. But beginning with this election, I will imagine that the relevant legal frameworks for the conduct of local government elections in Rivers State should be reviewed in such a way that we will not have that window that enable the governors to constitute caretaker committees. It's important for me to state one thing here. When the issues in Rivers State around local government elections began sometime early this year, I've had opportunities to x-ray the extant provisions of the Rivers State local government law to the effect that the legislature deliberately, perhaps in connivance with previous administrations, previous former governors, deliberately provided to the effect that local government elections could only be conducted after the expiration of the tenure of elected council. That's what it was. So it meant that there was already a deliberate intention to create an opportunity for caretaker committee to be constituted. It was actually within the law. Caretaker committees were provided within the Rivers State local government law. That's section 9 of the Rivers State local government law that sought to be amended, but unwittingly so. You have a situation where elections were not to be conducted before the expiration of the term of elected council members, but that within 90 days after the expiration. That was worrisome. That was undemocratic.